the finite promise of death, which gives value to my life, Bitcoin gives that finite promise to our time and our effort and our labor. It's impossible for someone on a fiat standard to value the paycheck they're getting right now. If there's theoretically infinite amounts of dollars, it'd be the equivalent of being able to live forever. And so I think that with fiat, it's very cloudy, whereas with Bitcoin, it's a mirror. And a mirror meaning it's strict objective truths. Is when I look in the mirror, I see exactly me for who I am, how much value I'm actually producing for the world, how much value the paycheck I'm actually getting today. And I'm able to make decisions based on my health, my time preference, my investment, my savings, my real-time expenses versus the income I'm generating. And with fiat, I like to think of it as it's cloudy, you can't see.
Mallers begins by addressing a central issue, inflation, driven by the excessive printing of fiat currencies like the US dollar. Inflation, he explains, is not merely an increase in prices, it reflects a dilution of value, where the monetary supply expands faster than humanity's pace of innovation and productivity. With governments printing money at unprecedented rates, Mallers suggests that the value of each dollar is eroded. Bitcoin offers a fundamentally different model. By design, Bitcoin's fixed supply of 21 million coins contrasts sharply with fiat currencies, which are effectively infinite. This scarcity allows Bitcoin holders to benefit from economic productivity and innovation without fearing their money will be diluted by new currency issuance. Holding Bitcoin, Mallers argues, is like being long humanity. It means betting on a future where human innovation naturally drives down the costs of goods and services.
Please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and the overall digital asset space and drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks and enjoy the video.
Inflation is that they're expanding the monetary supply faster than humans are producing value and innovating. Like another way I like to think about Bitcoin is I'm long humanity by owning Bitcoin, because with my money supply fixed, I get the benefits of human innovation and human productivity. Like when humans innovate and produce more that makes food cheaper and education more accessible and travel easier, like I'm a net beneficiary of that. Whereas if I'm holding a currency like the dollar that's being produced so rapidly that they're producing more dollars than we are producing innovation as humans. And to your point, that's an insane concept to wrap your head around, given we're living in this world of AI and tech boom, and we've got now cars driving themselves with Elon Musk. It really puts into perspective how much money they're actually printing and how much debasement that our currencies are actually going through for the goods and services that you need in your life to still be working the wrong way. You know, you're running on a treadmill. You could be innovating and producing as a human as hard as you want, but if you're not getting a 20% raise year over year and the housing market that you actually desire to live in for a life that you deem worthwhile is going up 21% year over year, then the currency is just outpacing your productivity. And so I don't think people appreciate that. And that's really just as simple as it is, like plain speak, that's just math. And then conversely, that means owning Bitcoin is being long humanity and subscribing to innovation and subscribing to us as a species being able to be more productive year over year, generation over generation, century over century. So I think that's lost on people. And you know what? Like the fiat mindset, and you know, I've thought a lot about this, and I've had really difficult conversations with people I've grown up with and that I love deeply. The mental model that I like to use is fiat. It clouds the world. It makes it very foggy and difficult to understand. Meaning, I've used this analogy before. I think what death is to life, Bitcoin is to money. In that, you know, if I was never going to die, I'd eat donuts every day. I'd eat the steak tomorrow. I wouldn't get married for 1 million years. I wouldn't go to the gym for 10 million years. It's actually the finite promise that my life is fixed is what allows me to value it in the first place. today would have it, I'd have no ability to value today if tomorrow was always promised. And so it's the finite promise of death which gives value to my life. Bitcoin gives that finite promise to our time and our effort and our labor. It's impossible for someone on a fiat standard to value the paycheck they're getting right now. If there's theoretically infinite amounts of dollars, it'd be the equivalent of being able to live forever. And so I think that with fiat, it's very cloudy, whereas with Bitcoin, it's a mirror. And a mirror meaning it's strict objective truths. Is when I look in the mirror, I see exactly me for who I am, how much value I'm actually producing for the world, how much value the paycheck I'm actually getting today. And I'm able to make decisions based on my health, my time preference, my investment, my savings, my real-time expenses versus the income I'm generating. And with fiat, it's I like to think of it as it's cloudy. You can't see the world for what it is. It's impossible to measure the paycheck you're getting today. It's impossible to know how much an education at USC is worth. Is it actually worth $250,000? How would you ever know? And so I think that's another reason people struggle with Bitcoin is objective truths are difficult. The man that relies on a lie has a tough time looking in the mirror, right? And so I think that's another reason that, the people that have a difficult time adopting Bitcoin, I think have a difficult time with truth. And I think Bitcoin is bringing us back to the truth. And it's a system that's governed and ruled by the immutable laws of Mother Nature through proof of work. And because money is our time and energy in an abstracted form, and it is really more of a representation of ourselves than any other market good, then it becomes like a movement, like a driving force that leads into your health and leads into your time preference and leads into all of these other decisions. You've got collectibles and art and gold, and that's where, Bitcoin is approaching that value. Then equities is a step up, housing is a step up. Then obviously bonds. We think bonds of like the holy mother Mecca. It's like the creme de la creme. And that's the size of and pool of capital that is tremendous. Now you can land somewhere between the lower estimate and the upper bound because Bitcoin won't demonetize them entirely, and that there's still value in owning equity in a business and owning a home. You do have to live somewhere, but using them as money and a store of value should be entirely demonetized. And we think of it internally as, and I've even said as much externally, I think money is our time and energy in an abstracted form. It's human effort, right? It's human labor. And so that's kind of the size of market and opportunity that we think we're going after is providing next level financial services for everyone's time, energy, and effort to save, store, and exchange into the future.
Mallers observes a fascinating trend. Most Bitcoin users come to embrace it after an initial journey through other cryptocurrencies. Many start by exploring altcoins, only to later realize the unique value of Bitcoin's fixed supply and its alignment with sound monetary principles. For those who understand money's role, Bitcoin becomes a cornerstone of financial security. It shifts from a mere speculative asset to a primary savings vehicle, a way to store their life's work. Mallers notes that as people convert more of their net worth into Bitcoin, they become more engaged with its ideology, opting for financial sovereignty over the volatility of fiat systems and other digital assets. For these individuals, Bitcoin becomes a long-term commitment rather than a passing investment.
Humans do work. We contribute, like the only things we really have is time on this planet and in our lives, and we express it through the energy we contribute. And then we have to make decisions in how that work is stored. And I can get compensated in autographed baseball cards, dollars, gold, Bitcoin, and that's my choice and how I store the effort that I contribute, and I want to save it and exchange it later. And the price just tells us how many people are making the choice of Bitcoin. So it's quite literally an adoption metric of how much of the world's effort is being stored in this money that we care about. And as it grows, there's obvious network effects and economies of scale with money. We all know that. And so to me, not valuing the price is a fundamental misunderstanding that Bitcoin is money. And that, again, money is technology. It's not like a construct. We can't all agree that water bottles are money and make them money. Money is designed to solve this very particular problem. And the more people pick Bitcoin as their solution and opt into using this technology as the money, then the better all of the other holders of the money, the better the world, because of the belief system and the way it was designed and all that we subscribe to. So I think it's just a fundamental misunderstanding, to be candid. Like, someone, to me, if you don't value the price of Bitcoin, then you don't fundamentally understand it and understand money for that matter. And we honestly, the last thing on Strike, it's just interesting, some of the insights I get. What's interesting is a lot of our growth, especially recently, we're not necessarily seeing new entrants from, the pre-coin or fiat world into the industry yet. I don't think we're at the point where we're on the headline of every magazine and Bitcoin's the CNBC topic every single day, and you Super Bowl ads and Sam Bankman-Fried's hanging out with Tom Brady. We're not at those levels. What we're seeing is our customers start off buying shitcoins on shitcoin exchanges. And then once you understand money and you understand Bitcoin rapidly it's not 1% of your net worth. It becomes 25, 50%, 75%, and it becomes your entire cash balance, your entire life savings. And that's where we get customers actually from other shitcoin casinos, when people finally understand Bitcoin and they need to wire a lot of money and convert a lot of cash balance and work with an institution they actually trust. And that's really like the behavior I see. And again, that's the decision at the margin of someone saying, I have effort and time and energy I've contributed to this world, and I'm choosing Bitcoin to store that. And that's really what the adoption of Bitcoin until we're at a Bitcoin standard fundamentally is, like, just flat out 100%. And so, I don't understand at all when people say the price doesn't matter. It's the metric that matters the most, if not like the only metric that matters. If you think of Bitcoin as this piercing truth, this technological advancement in connecting the immutable laws of Mother Nature to a digital object that we can program to be perfect, then what does it say about the people that are against it? Is that a proxy to say that government and big corporations, who are primarily trying to kill it and primarily trying to stop its adoption, are then by proxy the biggest opponents of truth and the biggest opponents of objective reality, right? Because if I am just doing the math in my head, if Bitcoin equals objective truths, physical reality, honesty, humility, then those that are against Bitcoin are against those things. And so, I don't take it too far and to say that I'm able to judge the character of a man by their opinion on Bitcoin, because that's a little bit too much. But it's not that far off, in that if you're making an active effort to suppress this thing, kill this thing, violate this thing, then it says more about, like, the man that can't face truth and tries to kill truth, suppress truth, hide truth. It says more about the man than the truths, right? Of course, everyone knows that. So I don't know. It's also Bitcoin's this like piercing bullet of sorts. It's this universal asset.
Mallers discusses a point often overlooked by skeptics: the importance of Bitcoin's price as an adoption metric. Far from being merely a speculative asset, Bitcoin's price reflects its growing role as a global store of value. As more people turn to Bitcoin, the price reflects the collective decision to trust it over fiat currencies. Mallers argues that understanding Bitcoin's price is essential to grasping its adoption curve, as this technology of money gains traction globally. Mallers highlights the opposition Bitcoin faces from powerful entities like governments and large corporations. He implies that resistance to Bitcoin could stem from a discomfort with the objective truths it represents. If Bitcoin embodies transparency, scarcity, and fairness, then entities that oppose it may fear a system that disrupts their control over traditional inflationary money.
Please like and subscribe my channel.